Red leather, yellow leather, red leather.
I've never seen two more awkward people ever.
I feel like a skinwalker just like trying so hard to be human. Like, ugh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Welcome to No But Seriously, an unhinged pop culture podcast with your two new besties. I'm Callahan.
And I'm Trina. We need the drinks to kick in a little bit. Wait, what exactly is mom water again? Does it have alcohol or nah?
It does, but there's no carbonation, so it's just like flat, cold, non-seltzer. I don't know.
But what does it taste like? Because like wine doesn't have carbonation.
Yes, it does. Wait. No, wait. White wine's carbonated. No, champagne is carbonated.
And sparkling wine is also carbonated, but not all wine.
No, but I do think there's bubbles in my white wine. When I pour it, there...
I think maybe you're just drinking sparkling wine, babe.
Let me look that up. Wait, is not... Red,
The wine,
so...
the wine that I'm drinking right now does not have bubbles. It's not white wine. But like, you've never had a white wine without bubbles?
Surely I have. I plead the fifth. I don't recall. I feel like I'm being deposed, okay? I don't recall. I was going to tell you this because back in our day, if you
Don't
wanted
do
to
that.
know,
Whose day? I'm young.
For our younger listeners, there used to be things called liner notes. Liner notes would be in the inside of the jewel case, which was either a cassette or a compact disc.
Wait,
Do you remember these?
some kids know about that because some people are still releasing albums. I mean, you know, like CDs.
Yes, absolutely. So if I would hear a song on the radio, I did my best to guesstimate what the lyrics were. Unless I owned that jewel case, I didn't have the liner notes. And some bands, some people didn't even put their lyrics on the inside, right? So I would do my best to like listen to it and learn the radio edit, or like run over to my boombox and like press down the two buttons and record it myself.
Play and pause.
Play and pause. So it's
What
been
do y'all
so
know
fun.
about hitting play and pause at the same
At
time?
the same time. So that's how we got these such classics. My sister still would say Stone Cold Jason, Waterfalls.
Stone Cold Jason Waterfalls.
We're going to have to pay money now. Thanks a
No,
lot.
they have 30 seconds. I'm sure we got 30
We
seconds.
can't afford that.
Candy girl. Candy. I think Candy wrote that song. Candy, don't come after us. This is just our first episode, girl.
So my 7-year-old is like, he hears stuff, and one of his favorites is, "We've got a lot of Starbucks lovers."
Got a lot of Starbucks lovers. Listen, we do like Starbucks.
They call me, they think that I'm insane. I'm like, yeah. And I won't correct him because he's old enough now where he's not saying like the cute little misunderstood baby things like "my coming" or "my so proud of you." So now it's like, it's these little like miscommunications. And he's been listening to a bar song, the Shabuzi. It's a banger.
It's so good.
Very catchy.
Top 5 song of the summer.
I mean, it is the song of the summer. So I have been and Please, 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 which I try to play the like non-hardcore version. And she says, "Don't embarrass me, little suckers."
Oh, is that what she says?
Uh-huh. And so I got out of the car to do something. He's like, "Oh, can I pick a song?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So he goes up to it, and I was like, "Oh, this is not the appropriate version." And he's like, "How do you know?" I said, "It has an E on it. There's an E on like Spotify. It'll be next to that version." He's like, "What does that mean? Is that inappropriate language? That's not an E." I was like, "No, it stands for explicit." And he's like, "Okay." So the next time it came on, now it's learning, the algorithm knows, like, you want to hear this song. So it comes on, he's like, mama, that's the exquisite version. That's the
Exquisite.
exquisite one. I was like, oh, I don't want to correct it.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't, honestly, because the explicit version is exquisite. I can't stand a clean version of a song.
I know.
I can't.
When you say, please don't embarrass me, little sucker, like, who takes that? That's the impact is lost.
I haven't actually heard it. In fact, like, I want to go listen to it now. But I saw it, not this song, but I saw an interview with Cardi B where she said that she could not stand the clean version of Bongos because she said, you got to eat your peaches and plums. And she was laughing, so I feel like I can laugh because that song is so good. And I don't know what I would do if I was subjected to the clean version telling me to eat my peaches and my plums.
That reminds me when they tried to kids bopify WAP. Do you remember that? They're
I don't
I
know
love my
that I
waffles
heard.
and peaches. It was something really bad too. It was so awful. And like something about hearing children's voices in chorus, like echoing what you know is just like a feral hormonal like beat. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, I accidentally taught him that it means exquisite.
Exquisite.
Not gonna fix it.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm not even sorry.
Thank you for your service.
I'm trying. If you only knew, he was asking some really interesting questions the other day, and I probably had some answers. I had a few answers, but more than anything, I had the desire to teach him that this is a job for a library. And if they're going to try and like burn books and take things out of school libraries, we need to patronize our public libraries and go there. And it gave me a great opportunity to teach him and relearn the Dewey Decimal System for myself.
They're still doing that? No.
Yeah. I was, and honestly, like I remember some of it, but being like, okay, this one is 813.06 PQR. And he's like, why? The book starts with a W. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't ask why. It's just the 800s. Like, I don't know.
Why don't they just have aisles like in the grocery store or like Home Depot? Just like aisle 2.
Because that's simple. What about Dewey? What about
Who?
Mr. Dewey?
Who exactly is Mr. Dewey, and why is his ego so big that we still have to follow what he did way back when?
Legendary librarian Howard Dewey.
I can't believe you said Howard. I was thinking Howard. I have to find out what his name is right now.
Howard Dewey. I almost said Mr. Decimal, but I haven't had that much to drink yet.
You'll never guess.
Milford. Mildred. Is it a woman? I bet it was a woman.
Unfortunately not, but should have been. Which actually makes me more mad. He was probably the only man worker at that library at the time and still forced his system on us.
Yeah. Yep, probably.
Melville,
like Brandy?
without the E on the end.
Okay.
Let's see what else he did. He was the chief librarian at Columbia University. He was a founding member of the American Library Association.
What are we going to leave behind? What antiquated system are we going to put in place that people will be cursing us for in generations to come?
I don't want to interrupt you or not answer your question, but I just learned something about Mr. Melville Dewey that is shockingly unsurprising. Because while he was a founding member of the American Library Association, according to Wikipedia, although his contributions to the modern library are widely still recognized, his legacy is marred by his sexual harassment of female colleagues, as well as his racism and anti-Semitism. So I propose we do away with the Dewey. Do away, Dewey.
Do away.
And just label the aisles.
Later, Dewey. What year was this also? Like, I love that he's equal opportunity hatred.
He was only in office as the president. Oh, hold on. That was just the president of the Library Association. But he was alive 1851 through 1931.
Yeah. Outdated. We don't need that.
It's outdated. We can find books on our own.
There's no room for that shit.
I feel like there's a world where, like, isn't there a thing where, like, I can do it on my, with my, fuck, I'm going to sound so old. What's that thing that I have on my keychain? I'm just a little, maybe I'm just a
fob?
Little. No, with the Apple, my Apple thing.
AirTag.
Okay, I feel like with my AirTag, I can just have it on my phone and it can, like, tell me when I'm near my AirTag or not. I should be able to download my local library's app and it'll be like, yes, your book is in aisle 4. And then I get to aisle 4 and it just like starts to vibrate when I get closer. And then I'm like, oh, under S's, here I am. Like, it's 2024.
They do that for like Home Depot. It'll be like, it's in aisle 6 in bay 7.
Yes,
so you know, like within a 3-foot section, like where that wrench is.
I'm just saying, Library Association.
Yeah.
Do you really want... My bad. Who's at my house on a Sunday? Do you really want to be listening to this racism, this racist anti-Semite?
No.
Misogynist?
No. But I also think we would have to cancel Roald Dahl, Dr. Seuss. I think we've already done that, though. We would have to remove a lot of the books from Mr. Dewey's system.
I feel like if we did that, we would be removing a lot of books, which some would argue is not necessary. And some would argue maybe makes room for new books. I'm not picking a side. But I also do feel like we don't follow Roald Dahl's system for anything. We can choose not to read his books. I can't choose not to follow the Dewey Decimal. I don't even know what it means still.
I know. I did ask. I figured it out, and I taught Oregon, but I was a little bit retraining myself too. And the whole why, I was like, yeah, I don't know. But I think that in general, like millennials are trying to teach or like gentle parent, like respectful parent their kids, so that when they ask why we do something, we're like, because this is better for society, or this helps, or that way when you come back to it, it's in the right place. Whatever the answer is, whatever answer like our parents didn't give us, and they're like, because we said so. Like, why are you asking me questions and you should have fucking done it already? It's like, I just want to know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no answers for that Dewey Decimal System. But
well, it don't make sense to me. Okay, so do you remember approximately 25,000 years ago, aka probably like 10, when you were telling me about Reddit and that I needed to go on Reddit and find my people, and I was like, sure, okay. And I created a Reddit that had my name in it, which was crazy. And as soon as you found out, you had that same reaction. And it took me a while, like a long time, multiple years, until I got into Reddit. And now I'm into it. And I wish I could go back in that very first profile that I have that has since been deleted and go look at all the subs that you made me join. I remember Advice Animals was definitely one of them. And it was the time where that guy, there was always the meme of that guy with that like sideways hat, that white guy with that hat. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Those memes were everywhere. Anyways, so I have an Am I the Asshole that I would love to read and get your opinion on.
Okay.
Let me know what you think.
Okay, ready.
Okay. Am I the asshole for not wanting to hijack my brother-in-law's honeymoon alongside my wife? I, 21 male, have been married to my wife, 27 female, for 2 years now. Financially, we've both been struggling a bit in the past years. But our situation is mostly fine now, even though we still live a relatively modest life and we can't afford to casually go to expensive trips in other countries. We cannot do those things. Even our honeymoon was only, quote unquote, a trip to a beach from our country where we've already been. And even that costed us quite a lot. My wife's older brother, 33 male, is definitely much wealthier than us and is known for spoiling his now fiance, 30 female, with gifts and expensive trips. My wife definitely commented a couple of times on it, and I could feel she was secretly jealous about it. She and her brother are definitely very close to each other, and he helped us quite a bit during the times where we were struggling financially, and he even allowed her to be a bridesmaid at his wedding, even though my wife and my brother-in-law's fiance aren't really close. Yesterday, my brother-in-law announced in front of their family that he wants to reward his sister for putting so much effort into planning his wedding by full-on paying for both of us to go together with him and his fiance on their honeymoon in Paris for a week. Before I could say anything, my wife immediately accepted and hugged her brother. But then his fiance started going at him about inviting us to their honeymoon without discussing it with her beforehand, and my brother-in-law defended himself by saying he just wanted to help his sister experience something she can't do on her own. They were arguing, and then my wife suddenly intervened and told his brother's fiance to stop acting like such an entitled brat because not everyone is as lucky as her to have a wealthy enough partner to support them. Brother-in-law's fiance started yelling at my wife about how she's just a leech to her brother who took over her wedding and now wants to invade her honeymoon too. I eventually got my wife out of there, and on the way out, I told her that maybe it'd be best for both of us to refuse going on my brother-in-law's honeymoon as his fiance clearly is uncomfortable with it. She asked me if I was an idiot for wanting to pass up a trip to Paris for free, that she worked way too hard to convince her brother to invite us for her to go back on it now. I told her that maybe she can arrange something else for us, and I don't want to be the reason their marriage falls apart. But my wife told me that their marriage is not our business, but theirs, and if it falls apart, then that's on my brother-in-law's fiance. I told my wife I want no part in this. I won't be going to this, quote, shared honeymoon. And she started arguing with me about how she can't believe I'll act this way when she only did this for us, and said that she'll take her brother's offer without me if she has to. We ended up sleeping in different beds, and even today, my wife is still giving me the cold shoulder. So, am I the asshole for my refusal?
Okay, so a couple things. She was upset because she's like, how could you refuse this? I worked so hard at convincing him to invite us.
Yes, she worked at that.
That's so uncomfortable. Also, did they get married when he was like 19 and she was 25? Like, did I read that or hear that correctly? There's some weird power dynamics happening. And honestly, when he said at the end that we slept in different rooms or beds, I thought he was going to say she slept with her brother.
They were not that young when they got married. They had been married for 2 years. He's now 28. She's 27. So he was 26. She was 25.
Okay. I heard that he was 20. I thought he was much younger. Yeah, that is so uncomfortable. And I guarantee you, if they were having marital problems and her brother tried to like console her or intervene, she wouldn't be like, my marriage is my business. Like, she has no cares whatsoever about like that. Here's who's really the asshole: the brother. The brother should not have invited anyone on their honeymoon without discussing it with his fiance at all.
I think the thing that stood out to me was when he was saying that his brother-in-law's fiance said, hold on, something about how like you inserted yourself into my wedding too. It sounds like the brother took over, let his sister plan the wedding, and the fiance had little say in her own wedding.
Yeah.
And now she has little say in her own honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
I think, honestly, I don't think OP is the asshole. I would not want to go on anyone else's honeymoon either. I think if your brother wants to treat us to a trip, like, sure, let's go someplace else. I think he proposed a really good compromise. Yeah. I want to hear from the brother-in-law's fiance because I feel like she has a bone to pick with a lot of people.
Yeah. It's hard to be. Can you hear that?
Barely.
Okay, good. It's hard to be in a relationship with someone who's very close to their family, whether it's like a parent or a sibling, twins. I dated a twin. Um, 0 out of 10, don't recommend. Maybe it was just the person, but I think that the dynamic that you're coming into, you already have like boundaries that you have to protect. And it sounds like two of the very most important things in her life have been like usurped from her. And
Yeah.
it's no, that's such a weird situation. Brother
Right.
is the asshole. And then
Just
sister.
plan a couple's trip like in 6 months. You
Yeah.
can still do a trip later, but the honeymoon.
That's so icky.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That's so gross. And here's the thing. My husband is notorious for like spontaneous, you know this. He'll be
I was
just
gonna say, oh, I know.
where he's just like, yeah, you should come to England with us next Thursday. And you're just like, hang on. Let's take a beat. Everyone
Wait,
just
in fact, maybe I don't know. He's never once asked me to come to England on next
deep breath.
Thursday. My passport is
No, but he
ready.
convinced you in a short amount of time that you should run a 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon back to back days in Disney World.
It was the alcohol. I do remember he was really good at the second my beer, I drank that last drop, there would be another one waiting for me. And that's what he did. He got me 3, 4 beers in and convinced me to do this crazy thing. Do you want to hear some comments?
Oh my God, yes.
I have not read through any of this yet. But some of them are agreeing with what we've said. Not the asshole. Why not suggest that you two do go at a different time?
Yep.
Not the asshole. Why is your wife taking over their wedding arrangements? Did she discuss them with the brother-in-law and his fiance? The comment from the fiance implies not. OP said, I think she discusses the wedding planning with her brother's fiance because she complained about her being difficult to work with. At the time, I thought it was just the usual pre-wedding drama a bride has with her bridesmaids, and that it'll be settled once the wedding's over. But that definitely won't be the case now after what happened last night.
Okay. This is a sub called Am I Overreacting?
Oh, I always overreact.
Chronic. Okay. Am I overreacting? My husband quit kissing me 17 years ago and I miss it. Should I just get over this? And am I overreacting? My husband and I are both close to 50. I don't want to write exact ages, but I am female and he's male. So I'm sure this happens the opposite way often, but I feel so unlovable. We got married young and had kids young. Our kids are now all grown. After the last kid was about 2, my husband decided he didn't enjoy kissing anymore and rarely intimacy. He only enjoyed intimacy if I went down on him. That seems one-sided. I asked him about it many times over the last 17 to 18 years and have tried to have conversations about it, even in marriage counseling. God, he chalked it up to him. Edit for clarity, being a smoker, and I'm not one, and he feels his mouth is gross. I'm happy to oblige mouthwash for us both before a makeout session. I want to make out so badly. Even if nothing else, just making out would help me feel loved. I've been celibate for 5 years. Wait a minute. Hang on. Math. If they haven't kissed in 17 years, but they kept having sex for 12.
I mean,
They only stopped having. Okay. I assume he has, but it's entirely possible he finds what he wants elsewhere.
what? You don't know?
I don't know.
You don't want to know?
She doesn't know. He's okay to me in that he takes care of what I can't for the last year. What does that mean? Like
What does
taking
that
out
mean?
the trash?
Because he's not making you come. That's
Since
what you
my
also.
health took a turn, and after 27 years together, he does the grocery shopping and some cooking. I don't work due to my health, but I wish I could. He definitely has to take on roles I played for 27 years, but I still did all that and made time for bedroom time for him. Again, I feel like I can't end the relationship. I'm not on disability. He's not abusive anymore. What? What?
Anymore? I
And
mean,
he, oh
good,
my
but like,
God.
how are we? Oh gosh.
I really thought the title was going to be the worst part. I don't know. I don't know why. I've been here before. I've read these. Oh my God, he's not abusive anymore. And he does take care of my basic needs in food, water, and shelter.
Sex is a basic need, babe. It's right
Yes.
down at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
But
I'm pretty
that's
sure it's near the
right.
bottom.
It is. Yeah, like bottom as in entry level. First for, oh my God. I want
Foundation,
love
babe.
and intimacy. I won't cheat on him, but I definitely have wanted to at least kiss others in the past. Nothing more and no attachment, but I can't bring myself to do it as I know it's ethically wrong in a monogamous relationship, and I vowed for better or for worse, and he did. And I'm definitely at the physically worse side now. For the record, only the last year have I been overweight. That okay. I was healthy and fit until major health concerns have kept me from walking as much. Added, I found out maybe 6 years ago he loves porn but hides it and won't admit to it. I found this on his huge hard drive, which I don't know why I said it like which I can no longer access. I don't actually think he's cheating per se, as in not in a relationship with anyone else online or in person, but it's entirely possible. He had a drive for so long, then zero. He won't talk to me about it or his doctor. He gets angry and wants me to drop it and forget the subject exists. TLDR, lonely, depressed, and in need of physical affection from the only person I ethically and morally should get it from. 17 years. I think you're underreacting, hun. I think you're underreacting
Yeah.
because not abusive anymore.
I don't know what to say here. My immediate thought is just like, it's done. It's done. He's moved on from this relationship. It's time for you too. But I understand that you're not working right now, and that's got to be tough. And I still think that you should find a way to end this relationship because it is already at the end. But I have empathy and sympathy for the situation that you're in. But I mean, you've tried couples therapy.
Clearly.
He has been abusive. It sounds like you think that he has cheated if he isn't currently cheating. And you haven't had sex in 5 years. That's a very long time. And even before then, it does sound like he was demanding you go down on him and he wasn't doing the same. So it felt very one-sided for a long time. No, it's time to go.
It's time. It's time to go. It's past time. Oh my gosh. This is God, they're like Gen X, but still this is why it's so important to like I don't know, have your own opportunities.
Yes.
She said, oh my gosh, he has OCD. This is a reply. He has OCD, and I feel that keeps him from wanting to kiss. We've only properly communicated for a year. I've tried earlier, but he wasn't ready. He won't do therapy. I've been in therapy 18 years. Oh, honey, it's not working. Get a new therapist. And someone else suggested the Love After Porn subreddit. So if you're coming to Reddit to find out,
there really is a Reddit for everything, huh?
There is there is truly a sub for everything. I think this person said it best. Divorce. Whoa, someone said you're overreacting. She says, Carl, you're the only reply that says I am. Can you elaborate? I'm genuinely curious.
Is his name Carl? It's gotta be him for sure.
His username is CarlO_2134. And she's like, Carl.
You think that's him?
I don't think so. But she just called him by his username, which is just funny. And this other person is like, marriage is a scam. Like, what happy people are in this sub? I can't even tell you.
Yikes. Okay.
Couldn't be me. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at no.bs.pod and listen wherever you stream podcasts.